How do you manage as a superhero when you're possessed by an ancient Egyptian god? Welcome to the Complete Story Series. We take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Don't forget to support your local comic book shop by picking up the books that you enjoy. We skim quite a bit, and I'm sure you won't regret getting them. Today, we will be doing issue 1 of Moon Knight by Warren Ellis. Like many of our recent stories, each issue is a self-contained story about our hero. So let's have a look at one of Marvel's most interesting characters. Word is that Moon Knight has returned to New York. That is surprising because the last footage of Moon Knight is him in LA arguing with Wolverine, Captain America, and Spider-Man, but they weren't there. He was talking to himself. You see, word is that Moon Knight has dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder. He used to be a mercenary, but then he got shot and left for dead in a crypt by his supposed buddies in front of the Egyptian god Khonshu. He awoke anew, and then he put on Khonshu's cloak and he beat the crap out of everyone. Moon Knight then returned to America, but now he has the 4 different aspects of Khonshu. So not only is there Moon Knight in there, but there's 2 other functioning personalities. So who is he today? Well, in a rather clean-cut white suit sits Mark Spector, the host of Khonshu. He hears the police report go off and he has his car automatically drive him there and park. He then slips on his mask and he slowly walks down the alleyway. One of the cops turns and tells his partner that Moon Knight has arrived. But the man informs him, no, that's not Moon Knight, that's Mr. Knight. If Moon Knight were here, we would have to detain him and bring him in. But Mr. Knight aids the police force. The police explain the situation to Mr. Knight, that this man has been cut up and slashed open and left here. Mr. Knight inspects the body, and he sees a precision cutting that only a surgeon could achieve. And then he points out that this alleyway is in a tight spot. Why would someone attack anyone here? He deduces that the killer can't be far from here, and that he must be working within a preferred territory, as it looks like he can't go far judging from his footprints. Something is wrong with his heel. His weight and his height are showing a rather large depression in one of his feet. Mr. Knight figures out that the tunnels are a good spot for the killer to run to, so he informs the police that he'll be having a look. One of the officers tells him that he just can't do that. He's not police, and with that white suit, the culprit will see him coming. But he walks away. That's the part I like. So he finds a nearby sewer cover, parks his car, and he removes the floor to his car, and then he drops down into the sewer. He finds himself passing the subway and the tunnels and going deep down into an ancient shield hideout. As he approaches the hideout, the man inside tells Mr. Knight, "I can hear you coming. You here to take me out?" "No, I'm here to hear your story." "My story? I'm an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to get better." But Mr. Knight sees a man missing limbs and bleeding on the floor. "You were injured in the field." "An IED blew the crap out of me. They wouldn't fix me. They threw me out. Said I wasn't fit for duty. But look at me. Look at me. I found their old medical stuff that they refuse to use because it's illegal or not right." And then the man pulls a gun on Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight raises his hands to show that he isn't armed. "So you're killing healthy people for parts?" "Not like they're using them. No offense, buddy, but you're a mile underground in a white suit wearing a bag on your head, and you're unarmed. You're gonna die down here." "I've died before, and it was boring. So I stood up." "What did you think you would do? Drag me out of here, give me to S.H.I.E.L.D. or the cops? I know you mask types." "I could, but you don't know anyone like me. All I'm doing is stopping you as simply and completely as possible." "So how are you gonna stop me?" "I stopped you 2 minutes ago. Look down." The man looks down at his side to find a moon-shaped disc lodged in it, causing him to bleed all over the floor. He panics and takes a swing at Mr. Knight, but he easily dodges it. And then the man raises his pistol and he takes a shot, only to have Mr. Knight deflect it with another moon-shaped disc. With the adventure complete, Moon Knight walks back to an empty and run-down mansion to have a seat in his chair. Sitting across from him is the skull of a hawk on what appears to be the body of a man, Khonshu, the Egyptian god that gives him his powers. "You are my son." And Mark Spector remembers the words said to him before New York from a psychologist. "You have brain damage by an ancient consciousness from beyond space-time." And that, my friends, is Moon Knight. Not your typical superhero. And if you want to read more, you can jump right into issue 2 before we explore it in a future episode. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian, and check out these other videos. You just might like them. I'm Benny for Comicstorian, and I'll see you next time right here.